Hey y'all, it's Israel. Sit down conversation, Bruto Americano. Let's get this done. I'm gonna, what do you call? I'm just gonna talk about Thanksgiving. I work Thanksgiving. As anyone who knows me knows, I'm in the service industry. I work for a hotel. I work for a restaurant. I did Wednesday night till very late, and I worked Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. So, like, I wasn't my freshest going into Thanksgiving. I'm 3 hours of sleep, 4 hours of sleep max. I don't know what the exact math was. I'm going into the job, I'm not like, I'm hungry. I didn't eat anything the day before. So, I feel like sometimes, though, that helps to stay hungry. Your mind doesn't dull as fast. But for me personally, that day, I had to trust that I might, how do I explain this? I had the trust that I could do my job and I wasn't going to get super overwhelmed where I would be making mistakes. I guess, how do I say? I anticipated it not to be crazy busy, but I did anticipate us to do a new menu. So I was ready to, change up my spiel and change up service. I had like a practice table. These people came in pretty early. And I was able to practice with them, see what I did like about my spiel, what I didn't. And I think it ultimately made me sharper at the end versus I was dull in the beginning. It wasn't that busy. A lot of staff, normal night. But it did kind of make me have the time to think. And it's like, if I'm just talking monetarily standard, that was not worth the money. But I believe that some things in my life have kind of made me repeat cycles and repeat things because it's not meant to be about inherently what it does for me in the moment. It's supposed to teach me a lesson about what I need to know in the future. And I felt like Thanksgiving was going to teach me something that I didn't know about myself. And how do I say it in the most simplest way possible? I don't realize how many of the little things add up to become a big thing. I am very much a person who turn and burn goes. If something doesn't work out, I burn the bridge, I move on to the next, find something better. If, I don't like something, I take it, I tear it down, I build something better. I do all this stuff, but while I'm in such a destructive energy and such a destructive phase, I don't ever think about the surrounding energies around me. I don't think about the people. I don't think about my family, my relationships, my mentors, the people that look up to me, the people that I've looked up to. I'm just in my present moment, only thinking about what is the conquer and what is the growth of my subconscious, of my reality, of my little world that revolves around the some odd miles I travel every day. And Thanksgiving and speaking to these people really humbled me in the sense of knowing that you're not the only person around. You're not the only person dealing with the struggles of having to be away from their family on Thanksgiving. You're not the only person struggling with having to work 2 jobs. You're not the only person struggling with having to do certain things. Like, everybody struggles. Everybody has problems. And like the famous saying, if you knew everybody's problems, you would take your own problems and deal with it. And I really think that is more my mentality for the next year. I want to be solution orientated. I would say that I was very strong in the beginning of the year. I had a plan, I had a focus, and I think I did exactly what I said I was going to do. And then I started self-doubting around July, August. I didn't trust that I could do it. And then my actions started showing me having a scarcity mindset. And I affected everything about my job, my life, the people around me, all of it. Is my mindset switched from abundancy to scarcity. I only started thinking about what I had to hold on to, what I needed to do day to day to survive, versus thinking about what am I going to do to grow, what am I going to do to build. And I believe that now that things have changed and I'm forcing myself to, read and go for the abundancy a lot more than I did when I was weaker in the last, I would say from July to the end of August, maybe middle of September. That's when it really affected me the hardest. That's when I knew that this mindset I had was ruining my life. It was the wrong mindset. And I do believe that now that I had to go through that rock bottom, I had to hit that low to bounce me back up higher than I was back then, and to change myself from the inside versus just outwardly expressing something and not internally developing the skills to have it. And weirdly enough, this has all been such a monumental time in my life. Unfortunately and fortunately for me, I will never forget the last 4 months, the last 6 months of my life. They're extremely important to my development and my story. And it's something that I'm going to have to grow into the future, be able to explain better. Because this topic, this stuff, things that are happening in my life are going to come up in conversation more and more often as I grow. And people are going to wonder, what was the straw that broke the camel's back? And I don't have that answer just yet, but I will have that answer. And it's very beautiful to know that I'm going to come to a point in life where I will put everything on a hand. I will risk it all. And I hope that it pays off. And I hope you are there to see it as well. I'm going to cheers to that. I don't expect myself to stop growing, but I expect myself to keep accountability to you, my YouTube, to myself, and to what I know I can achieve in this industry if I get the chance. So now you know. Yeah, I worked Thanksgiving. I didn't see my family. I did this not for money. I didn't do this for love. I didn't do this for the game. I did this to sacrifice something. As the famous Nick Diaz says, if you're going to come into my life, into my world, with your nice wife and your cozy life, and you're going to put effort into your wife and your children and your life, and you're going to come into my stuff, I'm going to fuck your whole world up. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to beat you in every category, in front of your nice wife and in front of your life's kids and your nice life and wife or what else. I will conquer you. I will beat you. I will never stop putting in pressure, and you will crumble under my pressure. And I say that because I don't get a wife and I don't get a nice life. I'm going to put the effort. I'm going to put it in. I don't want anyone to be able to compete with me. See you at the top.